Welcome, my name is Liz. This is Daisy Dawg. She's got her favourite little cow with her today. Aria is just in front there. You may not be able to see her on camera. This is my movement channel, Movement with Liz, and I would love it if you could hit the like, hit the subscribe button, and just so we get more people seeing this channel. There is strength training, there is yoga, there is high intensity interval training, there is myofascial release. So lots of different things depending on how you're feeling on the day, how you want to move your body, but there is something for everyone. Today we're going to be doing a yoga flow with a short meditation on the end. So if you have tried meditating before and you've found that it's a struggle, just know that that is completely normal, and it is hard to actually sit and be still and try and let the mind be still. This is why adding some form of movement to before you sit in meditation can be really beneficial. It just allows to move any energy through the body, move any energy through the mind, and then you may find it easier just to sit and be still. So let's start our movement practice. We're going to come into a 4-point kneeling position. So lining the knees underneath the hips, the wrists underneath the shoulders, going through some cat-cow. Taking a breath in, lower the belly down to the floor, look forward. As you breathe out, rolling up through the spine, tucking the chin and the hips. Breathing in, dropping the belly down. Breathing out, draw the belly in. Press down evenly through the palms. Let's do that 3 more times. We're going to find this same movement down on our forearms. So lowering down to the forearms, lining the elbow up underneath the shoulder. Hello, Daisy. And the knees are still underneath the hips. And we're going to make our way through that same movement. So breathing in, lower down, squeeze the shoulder blades together, look forward. As you breathe out, press through the forearms, tucking the chin and the hips, opening through the shoulder blades. Doing that again, breathing in, lower it down, breathing out, rolling. Doing that 3 more times. Just feeling the difference between being on the palms and being down here on the forearms. Keeping the elbows underneath the shoulders, stepping the feet back, coming into a plank position. You can be down on the knees or lifting the knees up to be on the toes. Pressing through the forearms, shoulders are away from the ears. Draw the belly button up and think about rolling the pelvis. So imagine you're bringing the top of your hips to the bottom of your rib cage here. So nice long spine. Holding for 3, 2, 1. Lower the hips down, coming into Sphinx. And you can pull the chest forward here. So shoulders are down, pulling the chest forward. Slight little tuck of the chin. Finding a nice connection to your breath, breathing in and out of your nose. And then pressing the hips back, coming into a wide-legged child's pose. So you can reach the arms out wide, knees can be wide. Just letting the chest come down between the thighs or just as far down as feels okay for you. So movement is just really powerful. If you're feeling angry, if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling sad, adding in some movement, shaking it out, or just going for a walk, just allows whatever's there to move through your system, and that's what it wants to do. pulling yourself forward, pressing up into our first downward facing dog. So I've lost half of my mat to Daisy today. Usually it is Aria, but Daisy's come on in today. Pressing down evenly through the palms, bending the knees as much as you need to. Take a breath in, take the right leg into the air, opening up through the hip. So you're bending through the right knee, still pressing through the palms. Really think about pulling that right heel down towards the buttocks. You might feel a nice stretch all the way up through the front of the hip, down into the quadriceps. I'm going to take 3 big knee circles here. So bringing the knee down and then circling it up and around. Doing that 2 more times. Square the hips back up, reach the right leg long, and then stepping the foot through, coming into Warrior 2. So circling the arms around, back foot goes the same way as the back edge of your mat. Arms are reaching long, and then your front thigh, just gently press the right knee out. So we're getting a bit of nice alignment there from our hip to our knee. Sink a little lower into that front leg. Keep pressing out through the back foot. Flip the front palm, coming into Reverse Warrior. Pressing down through the feet, bringing the arms back into that Warrior 2. Lengthen out through the front leg. Tuck the hips, press the hip back, and then coming into Triangle. You can look up if that feels okay. Otherwise, looking forward or looking down at your hand. Really pressing through the feet. Bending through the right knee, circle the hands down. You're going to come into a low lunge position. Option, you can keep this knee lifted and hang out here. Option, you can bring the left knee down to the mat. I'm actually going to take a bit of a quadricep stretch. So you're going to press into the left palm, bend through the left knee, reach the right arm around, grab hold of that foot, really open through the right shoulder. So like you're trying to roll it back. See if you can get the hips nice and low. Pressing through that left palm. Getting a nice stretch through the left quad. Still focusing on a nice smooth breath. Release the foot down to the floor. Bring the right hand down, pressing back into downward facing dog. Now you can stay here or take a flow. So shifting forward to plank, coming down halfway, pressing through the palms, lifting up, upward facing dog, pressing the hips back, downward facing dog. Daisy Dog's like, excuse me, this is my resting mat. Let's take a nice clearing breath in through the nose, out of the mouth, breathing in, breathing out. Take a breath in, left leg lifts, opening up through the hip. Keep pressing down through the palms, bending through the left knee, getting that heel close to the buttocks or as close as you can. Taking those 3 big circles. So then the knee drop down, up and around. Feeling that movement there. Might hear some clicks and some clacks. Square the hips, point the left toes to the sky. Stepping the foot through, coming into Warrior 2. So nice and strong here through the lower body. Tucking the hips under, sinking into that front leg. Knee pushing out through the back edge of your right foot, reaching the arms nice and long. So never just hanging out in these shapes. There's effort from the muscles, from the ligaments, from the tendons. Flip the front palm, coming into reverse warrior. Daisy's taking a cow and she's out of here. Coming back into warrior two. Lengthen through the left leg. You may need to just walk the right foot in a little. Press the hips back, coming down into triangle. So you can imagine here that your back is up against the wall, and you can actually practice this shape up against the wall. Taking whatever gaze with the eyes feels best for your neck. Circle it down, bending through your left knee. Option to stay here in the lunge and just explore the hip here. You can shift forward and back. You can lower the right foot, the right knee to the floor. Press through the right palm. Reach around with the left hand, bending through the right knee, grabbing hold of the right foot. Nice stretch there. Or it might not feel so nice. It might be quite intense. So just being mindful of that, staying connected to the breath. You've got your cow, Daisy. Release the right foot, bring the left palm to the mat, stepping back, downward facing dog. Option to stay, option to take a flow. So shifting the weight forward, lower halfway down, press through the palms, roll both shoulders back, pressing the hips up, downward facing dog. Let's take another clearing breath in through the nose, out of the mouth, breathing in, breathing out. Shifting the body weight forward and then lower the body all the way down to the mat. We're going to bring the palms around behind our back, clasp the fingers together, roll the shoulders back, and then you want to lift the hands off the buttocks. So we don't want them to touch if that feels okay for you. So roll the shoulders back, lift the chest, reaching through the arms, and then option to lift the feet. Coming into our locust pose. So just taking whatever option works best for you. Maybe the feet are on the floor. See if you can lift the arms, keep them lifted off the body. Lower back down. Unwind the fingers and then clasp the hands in the more unusual way. So the other thumb will be on top. It'll feel probably a little bit awkward. Roll the shoulders back, lifting through the chest. Reach the arms. And then that option to lift the legs. Keep the eye gaze down on the floor. And if you find that you can't breathe smoothly, you've gone too far. So just keeping that connection to your breath. Take a breath in, breathing out, lower down. Bring the palms underneath the shoulders, pressing the hips back, downward facing dog. Taking a little moment here, letting the body take a nice little reverse curve of the spine. Coming into extension as we're lifting up from into that locust pose. Now coming into flexion. Pull the body forward, tucking the hips, pressing them up, downward facing dog. Bending through the knees, step the feet or jump the feet between the hands. Coming into our ragdoll pose, bend the knees as much as you need to. Grabbing opposite elbows, letting the head drop down towards the mat. Maybe take a little swing here, side to side. Release the elbows, bend the knees, press down through the feet, come all the way up to standing, rolling through the spine. Roll the shoulders back and down. So we're going to go through a little balancing sequence. So you're going to lift your right knee, or move the weight first forward into your left foot. Lift the right knee up. Point through the right toes. You can bring the hands to the hips if that feels better. Bend through the knee again, and then shifting back into warrior three. Reaching nice and long through the heel. Breathing in, lift the knee back up, come to standing. Point through the right toes. Bending through the knee. Shifting back, warrior three. Let's do that 2 more times. See if you can keep the hips square. Keep them nice and even. Keep pressing through that supporting leg. One last time, breathing in, breathing out to kick the foot, breathing in, breathing out, taking it back, warrior three, holding here. Step the right foot back, coming into warrior one. So want about 45-degree angle of the back foot. You may need to just kind of heel toe the front foot out a little bit. Might feel a little bit better for the hips to be a bit more square to the front. Sink down into that front leg, press out through the back foot, and then reaching the arms up as the option, pressing the palms together. Holding here. Bring the palms down through center, lengthen through the front leg. You may need to just heel toe that back foot in. We're going to come down into pyramid pose. You can hold here halfway. We're coming into a version of revolved triangle. Right palm will come to the mat. Pull the left hip back and then reach the left arm up, looking up at the thumb. Keep pressing through that right palm, keeping the legs nice and active. And then bringing the hand down to the mat, stepping back, downward facing dog. Option to stay, option to take a little flow. Meeting back in downward facing dog. Let's take a clearing breath, breathing in, breathing out. Bending through the knees, step or jump to the top, coming into that ragdoll position. Let the head drop down, getting a nice lengthening feeling through the spine. Let the shoulders relax, maybe add a little bounce here or a little kind of swing from side to side, just whatever feels good. Release through the elbows, press down through the feet, come all the way up to standing. So we're going to find that same movement on the other side. So pressing into the right foot, bring the hands to the hips, lift the left knee, kick through the left foot, bring the knee or bend through the knee again, and then shifting back into warrior three. Let's do that again. Breathing in, lifting the knee, breathing out, kick the foot, breathing in, bend the knee, breathing out, warrior three. It's a bit of a rhyme. Good, let's do that 2 more times. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Focusing. 1 more time. Holding in warrior three. Stepping it back, warrior one. Good. Finding the position that works best for your body. Option to reach the arms up, pressing the palms together. Shoulders are down. See if you can sink a little lower into that front leg. Pressing through the front foot. Breathing smoothly. Bring the palms down, hands to hips. Lengthen through the front leg. Just bringing the back foot in just a little. You can bring the palms to prayer. Take a little bow forward here. Option to stay. Option to come into that revolved triangle. So left palm to the mat. Think about pulling the right hip back And then rotating around, looking up at your right thumb. Bring the right palm down to the mat, stepping back, downward facing dog. Option to stay, option take one last float. And then pressing it back, pressing the hips up. Let's take 3 clearing breaths here, in through the nose and the mouth, breathing in, out, in, out, in, out. Let's take a little moment here, feeling into your full expression of downward facing dog. Coming forward, let the knees drop down, press the hips back into child's pose. Your choice can be wide. Maybe you want to be a bit more narrow with the knees together. Walking the hands back, coming up to a seated position and finding a comfortable seat. Something that allows you to keep the spine lengthened. Think about reaching the crown of the head up towards the sky or the ceiling. Shoulders are over the hips. And we want to relax the shoulders back and down. So it's finding a position that allows you to do that. May mean sitting on a yoga block if you have one available, a cushion, a bolster, even a folded up towel, or even folding up the edge of the mat and sitting on that can just allow the pelvis to come into a bit of a better position to allow you to relax and allow the spine to lengthen. So meditation today, I'm going to give you something to focus on. Well, I'm going to give you 2 different things to focus on. We'll do one first, and then I'll give you the option to move on to something else. So we're going to be doing a 6-minute meditation. So finding that comfortable position. Closing down the eyes if that feels comfortable, otherwise coming into a soft gaze. And if you're in the soft gaze, just gently looking down towards the tip of the nose. Finding a nice smooth rhythm of breath. Finding stillness with the body. There'll be that natural movement as you breathe in and out. And the option is to repeat a mantra as you breathe in, internally saying so. As you breathe out, internally saying hum. So, hum. Meaning I am, or I am that. This just gives the mind something to do. If you find the mind wanders, that's okay. It's called being human. Just acknowledge it. Bring yourself back to the mantra. So, hum. Using the breath. Relaxing the facial muscles. Relax the tongue in the mouth. You can bring the tip of the tongue just behind the front teeth where the teeth turns into the gum at the top. Breathing in, so. Breathing out, hum. to the mantra, breathing smoothly. Seeing if you can make the exhale as long as the inhale. We call it a pendulum breath. The option now is to lose the mantra. Keep the focus on the breath. Focusing on the inhale. Focusing on the exhale. If you'd like to keep the mantra, keep it. It's giving the mind something to do, something to focus on. Feeling the inhale as it comes in through the nostrils into your system. Feeling it as it moves out of the nostrils. And if the mind does wander, bringing it back either to the breath or the mantra. So we don't need to beat ourselves up or think that we've failed. This is the practice of meditation. Take a big breath in, full breath out. It's connecting back into your natural rhythm of breathing. Take as much time here as you need. If you need to continue to sit, please do. Don't rush out of this state. Just open the eyes when you feel ready. Thank you very much for joining me today. My name is Liz. This is Movement with Liz. Thank you so much I will see you next time.